a very frosty cold morning, back in my lovely little sanctuary overlooking an estuary where we have some visitors. We often have visitors. They're the grey and white goose couple. And two seagulls. They seem to be fairly regular visitors too. I've watched these geese most days I've been here. They're quite cute. Really, really fantastic. Yesterday on the lawn was about midday, and they decided to take a nap. One of them standing up, tucking its head into its feathers and wing, standing just in front of the other one, so creating this little shade pocket for the other one who was on the ground sleeping as well. And it was very cute to see, and it stood out to me as just this lovely little kind of precious moment, and sprung to mind just now because we are going to talk about card number 6, the Lovers. Now, strewn around me are lots of books that talk about different aspects and components to the Lovers. So, where to start? I'll start with maybe what isn't as obviously shown. In older tarot decks, a lot of concepts around the Lovers, it being associated with Gemini and twins, is choices. What one holds to value or is valuable, and being presented in life choices, what one is to choose, or a decision being made. Twins, Gemini, often an easy associated sign to duality, which is another huge aspect of the Lovers card, as you will see represented more often than not with a male figure and a female figure in some form of courtship, varying degrees of. Now, of course, it's very easy to look at a particular card and see what one wants to see, which is fine. Which we're all wired somewhat towards confirmation biases, but at certain times we can miss when we narrow our scope and reject other information or insights within cards. So definitely within the Lovers is massive amounts of symbolism of duality, whether it be light and dark, male, female, good, bad, all these concepts of duality. And the Lovers essentially is a card about union, working together, dissolving aspects of self to accept, and, well, self as an ego self as well, especially, to accept a wider harmonious nature and way of being. That would be the inner marriage, the alchemical marriage spoken about and referenced a lot in a lot of places, and especially the Bible as well. So, how does one do this? Yeah, essentially by recognizing what one may feel they're at odds with or have barriers towards. It might be a question of I am love. Well, maybe look at where you have been hate. Maybe look at, like, or I am the light. Maybe look at I am the dark. I am a man. Maybe look at when, I am a woman, like anima and animus. These um, opposing forces we see, which we don't necessarily own within self, and work into a harmonious blend, and we push outside because we don't understand how there are balancing points between these two, and how they can fulfill a greater sense of being and I was going to say purpose. Yeah, purpose that is directive and powerful. Too much of one thing and not the other leads to imbalance. Often referenced in the Lovers is a future card in tarot, which is in the Thoth deck. This one here is known as art. So temperance and art is more along the lines of the alchemical process of blendings of opposites to find the perfect balance. And so there are references to that within this card. Now, tarot as a system, and the major arcana in particular, could be seen to be more a natural progression of one's internal being and a guide towards those processes. 22 steps, 22 keys of evolution of self. And in the Lovers, it's kind of a call to recognize where a more harmonious balance can be achieved. Oftentimes you will see symbolism of a six-pointed star or two overlapping triangles, earth and air, or however you like to frame that, or the Star of Solomon. And it's these kind of these opposites coming together to create something that is powerful, is a force that will do great things, and that's kind of a nice place to put it after 5, the Hierophant, which is that kind of deep tapping into a system of order in a spiritual sense, and divine authority, because love is a manifest form of that. It's kind of that energy, or that desire of the seeker, made into a fleshly form to have a will. And in the Crowleyan thelema system, it is love under will. So will is the expressive energy, or will is the will is the energy, and love is the expression. Yeah, I won't talk too much about the twins and duality much, but I will just say in reference that throughout mythologies the world over, there are so many stories about the twins. And yeah, and I'll just go to say that, there's a need for beings to work with their own concept of that, where it be not a rejection of shadow or of anima or animus. It's an integration. Within the central card here from the Alchemical Visions Tarot, you have 1, 2, 3, 4. you kind of have like four sets of couples within this. You have kind of two alligators at the bottom in the swamp, the lower, perhaps lower, more reptilian or animalistic bent or passions or desires. You have a form of innocent yet hesitancy between the two figures above that, with a kind of Adam and Eve-esque beings reaching out and kind of rising from the swamp with this lovely sun or fire energy between them. I find it quite beautiful that it's like Eve is the one who maybe has descended or maybe has a vantage point of elevation over Adam, like a slightly better position, and she, in a sense, is offering a hand to rise to Adam. I like this. I like this. To me, she's representative of Sophia, which is the feminine divine principle of wisdom and knowledge. Here we have, also within this card on the left and right, slightly further up next to the more mature couple, we have the tree of life and the tree of knowledge. Between this couple, there's a beautiful, beautiful volcano. So, very symbolic of passion, of forces meeting to create, to explode even, and there is, of course, and the lovers are very sexualized kind of energy within that, of attraction, of forces meeting, of passion, of all of those things. The next couple up is, I like the interplay and the interchange. It is now the man who has taken the female's hand, as in almost a proposal. So a lot of times the lovers can be about formal proposals of union, or working together as well. And the beautiful fecundity of the wreath of flowers around them. And I really like here we've been shown a five-pointed flower. Again, I really like how, if you look into tarot and the progression system of numbers and symbolism, oftentimes you'll see references to previous cards or previous numbers, and of course they're tied into the number you're at, even if they're not as obviously expressed, they're still there. The energies carry on. And the final kind of couple, as it may be seen, is the two forefront angels, and that is a symbolism of some of the higher forms of love in the angelic realms as well. So there's a lot within this, and you should perhaps be able to see these kind of triangle symbolisms in that card. In the volcano, there's an upwards pointing triangle of the earth, and I guess of the heavens there's the same mirrored downward pointing triangle. Within that as well, you've also got two triangles on the edge in the foliage and flowers, on one side with the female figure, on the other side with the male figure. You've also got another one within the swamp, and the creatures rising from the swamp as well. So within this card, it's definitely it's fantastic. I'll read just a fraction from, I think, the end. And this one's from the Alchemical Visions Tarot. It says, "The lovers tells the traveller that an important step in maturation is to connect one's spiritual life with emotional content. This will result in a passionate involvement in all aspects of life and bring about a new state of harmony within oneself. And I really like that, and that's from this gorgeous book with. Is it the Hierophant? Oh, I think it might be on the cover. But anyway, I really like it's that brief description. So one's emotive life, emotion, motion, energy, and motion, is to be connected to the spiritual. So the kind of watery symbolism or swamp-like reptilianness of the alligator and the creatures arising from the primordial ooze, as it may be, is an important part to be integrated. It's not to be rejected, or that's just a step. It's about integration of all parts of being, for a greater good, for working in harmony. Yeah. What else did I want to mention briefly? So, I really like, you also will see on the Lovers card on the left, hopefully. Again, you've got some sun symbolism. That's like realization in the light, spirituality, truth, empowerment, self. Is really, really nice. You'll see the snake with the apple, little reference, which you'll also find the little snaky in the alchemical visions. I really like these two birds, and this is the Shadowscapes Tarot, this one here. I really love these two birds here who have carried off the crown, I believe, of the masculine figure. And the feminine figure is holding her wreath of flowers down. So you have one rising, you have one being lowered, as above, so below. But I also sort of like that's allusions to the same concept. One's emotiveness, emotional life being content, should be raised into the spiritual, should be integrated, should work in harmony and function. And again, slight hints to, between emotion and the head, and what is between that, the heart, which is essentially very beautifully portrayed as where they're meeting. And great things come from union, and especially in self, and when we act from the heart. And one more thing, I will prop up briefly this fantastic card from the Alchemical Garden. You can go down, there we go. This one is, and excuse my pronunciation and even ability to read the text, Baristeriopsis capi, or Yeji, which is from the Alchemist Garden Tarot. And I feel like I'll read the whole text that is being written about this from this book, because it's I think it's really good and will give a good sense of what this is like. And if you do really like the Alchemist Garden Tarot, it should be available to be bought and found online, and go seek it if you so wish. So, the Lovers: values, duality, relationships. Entwined together, our connections with the world are what make life so meaningful. Finding union with yourself and integration exchanges will reconcile the inner and outer worlds. Understanding the nature of duality is understanding the nature of unification. The symbiotic relationship shows how small things grow and reveals what makes great things decay. I will just pause to say, I do believe this particular plant, as you may be able to see, is a vine. So essentially, it needs that relationship with the outer world for it to grow and travel. Other plants for it to raise itself into the light, to flower, to progress. Okay, now back to the text. Be consciously grateful while also aware when your love is wasted. Your time and excitement is precious, yet many try hacking at the branches of your experimentation. Seek out those who aid you in upholding your values by doing the same for them. We are all strange, unique, and wounded children of Earth. Make space in your heart to hold compassion for the unsettled. I quite like how that is said. As you progress in self, it's great, it's wonderful, you learn things. It doesn't necessarily change the states so easily or quickly of others around you. But and it can be difficult to then witness that, or difficult to not slip into the become so high and mighty that you are out of touch or reach or compassion. So it's basically an aspect of love is compassion for everybody, however they be presenting or appearing on their journey. The most elegant and beautiful things cannot be heard or witnessed. These must be embodied and felt by the heart. When each beat of your heart is synchronized with the garden's pulse, the whole valley bursts into bloom. Isn't that beautiful? And it is beautiful. Our personal drive is the foundation for consciousness. Our personal drive, so aspects of will again. Find your niche and explore with passion what it is that's making you feel validated. Be a part of the grand romance of mind and nature, the interwoven vine which reaches higher and broader. You are a key element in the great fractal spiral of love, light, and expression. And this is a little bit about the vine. Reaching up to 30 meters, the vine of souls is one half of the ayahuasca brew. It has up to 8% harmine alkaloids acting as a powerful monoamine oxidase inhibitor, or MAOI. In conjunction with plants containing the DMT molecule, Capi creates an orally active and long-lasting psychotropic experience. It is both an emetic and a purgative, and has been reported to be used in the treatment of Parkinson's disease. So very powerful plant medicines that I really like. That I just love that. That's a beautiful, 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 beautiful way of looking at a concept, part of a process, a step on the journey through the wisdom of plants and these traditions that have understood this and worked with this for a very long time are some of the wisest groups and beings on our planet. They've been doing it a long time. So I will leave it at that, and wish you a fulfilling and a loving day, whether it be with nature around you, yourself, beings you care about. All of those things are valuable and worthwhile, and I look forward to card number 7, which I definitely will be using the Alchemist Garden card for that, and I may quite easily be consuming quantities of that plant medicine as I do it, which will be really fun. Love to all, and blessings on your day.